Hey guys, it's Susan, and I made a video for you all on how to make no solder bangles, and everyone loved it and asked me to expand upon that theme. So I'm going to teach you how to make more different no solder bangles. So I've already taught you guys how to make easy no solder bangles using a crimp bead, but now I want to teach you a few different ways how to do it with some wire and some hooks and loops, and also with some really cool gemstone nuggets. And if you love this video, don't forget to ring that bell so you can be notified anytime a new video comes out. Alright, to do this project we're going to need a few metalworking tools today, so kind of pay attention. I've got a lot of stuff here that I want to go over with you. First of all, we're going to start with our basics. We are going to be using a chain nose plier. I'll probably use a couple of them at different times today, and a round nose plier. This one's called an AccuLoop. It has some markings on it that mark my different millimeter sizes of loops so that I can remember what I did. 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8 millimeter. And I'll be using a basic flush cutter to cut my wire, and also a hole punch to make one of these bangles. And then we're going to have a chasing hammer, and we'll have a flat file and a wire rounder, and then we will also have a bench block because I'll be hammering on that baby. And finally, I'm going to make oval shaped bangles today because I like the way they fit on my wrist, and so we're going to use an oval shaped bracelet mandrel. Alright, so first I want to make something real simple for you, okay? I want to make just a real simple no solder bangle. This is really super simple, but it's kind of sleek looking, and it's one of my favorites to wear. It just has a little hook and eye closure, but it doesn't come back open. Alright, it's actually closed. I hammered that down so it's closed like that. And I wear it with my bangle stack all the time, and I made it an oval shape so it fits real nicely on your wrist. So to do that, you're going to start with some 12 gauge wire. And I don't know if you guys have ever worked with 12 gauge wire, but that is some thick wire to work with. It's I'm trying to think. Let's see, 14 gauge is 1.6. I believe this is right a little over 2 millimeters thick, so it's a thick wire. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually make that hook and eye closure on either end first, and then we're going to pull it together, and then we're going to hammer it on our mandrel. So let's grab my bench block right there. And I am going to use this wire rounder here. That's this little cup burr right here. It's portable and it's battery operated, so it's really great for if you're traveling, to round off the end of this wire a little bit. Now I'm just going to hammer this out into a paddle, and see how it didn't, I kind of rounded it, but it's still not as round as I want. So I'm going to use my flat file to round this out, because this is going to be the hook that hooks my bangle together. Alright, so kind of get that into a nice little rounded shape, and you can see what we're doing right now is making that little piece right there. So I'm just going to take my plier and pull that into a hook. And then on the other end, and I've cut, I don't think I told you, but I did cut 9 inches of this 12 gauge wire to start with to make this bangle. And that's going to give you a nice medium sized bangle. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, usually I go bigger by the 1/4 inch. So this will make medium size. If you're trying to make a larger size, like a size large, go 9 1/4. If you're trying to go a little smaller, like a size small, go down by 1/4 inch, like I said, to 8 3/4. And then what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to make myself a loop that looks like that. And so I'm going to bend this back a little ways, and then I'm going to bring that into a loop, just like so. Alright, so now I'm going to hammer this out, like so, and just close him up. Like that. Alright, so now I need to form the shape of the bangle. So I'm going to put it onto my mandrel and wrap it around just like so. So I have kind of an oval, just a basic oval shape there. And you see that kind of got just a little bit wonky, but that's okay because we can just turn this because it's metal and it's easy to turn. And we're going to have to hammer it out again anyway. So let's just kind of get that into that little circle. like so. And then you're gonna take this and pull it down to finish that off. Then that's kind of semi-finished off, right? And semi-formed. And so now I'm gonna put it onto my mandrel and I'm gonna hammer it out so it has a nice oval shape. Because right now it's all just kind of like messy. I'm gonna put it onto the mandrel. And I'm going to first hammer down that top. And then I'm gonna go around the bangle. And you just want to kind of look at it and make sure that that little loop that you made is centered off. Like so. And then, let me see, let me take this one off. See how cute those look? All right, so that's one way. And now let me show you how to do it where you're adding a gemstone. So I have some cute little nuggets here. You can add any nugget gemstone you want to. You can even add a nugget that's not a gemstone. I've done it with blue opal. I've done it with emerald, which is kind of cool. Those are Dakota emeralds. And I've really been excited about doing it lately with this peach colored moonstone and then this gray colored moonstone. So I'm gonna use that gray moonstone today. So to do this type of a bangle, you don't need quite as much wire. You need 7.5 inches because we actually bend it and then hole punch it on either side. So let me wire around my end of my wire first. Cool. All right, so now I'm gonna make a paddle. I'm being pretty aggressive because I've got to make this paddle wide enough to hole punch with a 1.25 millimeter hole punch. So I'm going to then take my hole punch and punch it in the middle. This is something you want to be real careful with because you definitely don't want to hole punch through the edge of your paddle because then you have to start over. But then you get to do more hammering, so I mean, that's always fun. All right, so let me get my little hole punch out of there. It's kind of got a little bit stuck. There we go. So there's my hole on that side. This one actually looks pretty good too, so I'm gonna leave it. It's mostly I just want to feel, we're gonna cover that up so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to be smooth. So I'm just gonna punch this other end. I'm just being a little bit careful and make sure that I do not punch through the edge of my wire. Boom, there we go. Okay, so now once again we're gonna grab this mandrel and we're going to wrap this wire around it. I'm going to start from the bottom this time and pull up and around. And you want to try to center it up pretty well, but it doesn't have to be totally perfect at this point because we're going to hammer this in just a second. So you can see how you've kind of gotten it started with an oval, and I'm going to then use my chain nose plier to make sure these are all going the right direction. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my nugget in there and then I will hammer out my bracelet. So I'm going to use some 22 gauge wire to do this next step. So I'm going to pull about 2 feet of wire and I'm going to go through that little hole on one side and put about half the wire over there and bend that, and then I'm just going to wrap a couple times to get it started so that that's tight. And then I'm going to take my moonstone nugget that I like, my light gray nugget there, and I'm gonna pop that on there. Ooh, this one's gonna be super cute. I really like this. These are multiplying on my desk right now. I keep making these. I keep finding different nuggets that I can use to make these, and they're so cute. I can't stand it. I've got them in pink. I've got them in blue. I just got some mermaid glass in. Now I've decided I should do them in glass. I don't know. It's one of those things that you just, you start doing and you can't stop. So, and they're really, I mean, this is easy. It's seriously pounding wire and then punching a hole. That's easy. All right, so now you just want to get this tight. So I'm pulling. Push that all the way up there, and then I'm going to pull this down through. All right, I'm going to pull that down through there. I want to get it super, super tight. There we go, nice and tight. And once you get it as tight as you want, then go ahead and wrap a couple times on this side to get that finished off. And now I'm going to just basically just make a really, really kind of messy wrap on the side here. So I'm just going to start wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and I'm going to use every single bit of this wire to finish this off. So just kind of keep wrapping and wrapping, and then I'm going to press this last little bit of wire in underneath, kind of between a couple of the other pieces of wire, like so. So that's one side, and then you're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So just start wrapping, and just don't, try to make it about the same. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, and of course it can't be because this is a messy wrap, but just try to make it about the same size and length if you can. And so then I'm going to come up once again closer to that bead to kind of tighten everything up so that guy's tight in the center. So just take your chain nose and kind of squash it, and see how it kind of pushes in between those other wires. And there is the bangle. And then I'm gonna kind of want to straighten it up just a little bit. So I'm going to put it onto, first on my bench block. And see how I've got like a little, almost a curve in the wire there? I'm just going to use my chasing hammer to get rid of that. And then I'm going to put it onto my mandrel and shape it up a little bit. And you can put some texture in it if you want to, and this will automatically put texture in it. You won't be able to help putting a little bit of texture in, but you don't have to put a lot in. Shape it up a little bit so it has a real nice oval shape, like so. So I hope you liked learning how to make some more easy no solder bangles. I thought it was lots of fun, and I really enjoy mine. I love to wear bangles, and I hope you do too. Don't forget some of the tools and supplies you're going to need to do this project. Some basic tools, chain nose plier, and also a flush cutter. We also used a bench block and a chasing hammer to kind of shape things up, and also a flat file and a wire rounder. We used our 1.25 millimeter hole punch. You can use a 1.5. 1.8 can be a little more complicated, but you can use a little bit larger hole punch. And then we used our AccuLoop plier. And finally, we used an oval shaped bracelet mandrel. And then as far as supplies are concerned, you're going to use some 12 gauge wire to make the bangles. I did embellish using some 22 gauge wire, and also I used gemstone nuggets to put in the centers of those bracelets, which is lots of fun. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys would like to pick up some supplies like the ones we work with today, check out the links down below. Would you keep your bangle simple, or would you add a nugget? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell, and we'll see you again next time.